Welcome back to a farm west of boring, where life is anything but boring. Today is Monday, and it is going to be about 95 degrees here in the valley. So we've got to get an early start, if you call 9 o'clock early. Today I think we'll start putting the log bunk to good use, and I've reinforced it a little bit here. I put a diagonal support here with a 2x6 going up to give it some diagonal stability. On this side, that side also. Also, I put a 2x6 across here, as that will give better support for the ramps that come up and sit here. They'll give it a little bit better support. Also, lateral support across. I think that's going to work pretty well. So I've got a one of our old blocks right there. I think I'm going to use one of the newer snatch block because I can get the cable in and out of it more easily than this one. I've got the end of the cable on here, so essentially I'm going to basically take the cable out across here, under the log, back up through the block, and then back out underneath, hook it into the winch that I have hooked up to the tractor, and I'll put the tractor straight down below here so that I get a straight pull on the winch. One of the first logs I think I'm going to try is this big beast right here. That's 10 feet long, 26 inches, something like that. Probably want to trim off this old limb here that was cut and get it to roll good. And we'll try that one. We'll see how that rolls. If I can get that up there, then I can go over there to one of those. That's a 16-footer, I think, on the left. The middle one there is a 25-footer. It's got quite a bow in it, so I probably end up cutting that in half. Or that third one doesn't look like much, so we'll see. Then I've got these 3 fir logs over there that have been sitting here for quite a while, and then that 25-footer over there. So we've got a lot of logs. So let's get at it. So I've gone ahead and got that door cut, the bottom of that door cut up so I can get it open all the way. So it is open all the way. And that one down there is open all the way. So we've got about a 19-foot span there, which is going to make it a little easier getting some logs in there. So I showed how I had the grinder out, so I cut the trimmed the end of the this PV hook, trimmed it up so it's a little bit more spiky. Maybe it'll grab a little better. Yeah, it does. Grabs better. Metal. Oh, there's a metal wedge there. Yeah, Oregon Old Timer, he spent, I think, all of 2 days getting that one log on his sawmill bed, and then making one cut. He had quite a challenge. Okay, so I've got a question for you. This log is just a little bit too long. I'm gonna have to cut one end or the other. I think if I just straighten that cut out there, it'll probably be fine. Because that's 3 inches. Yeah, straighten that out. So here's the question I have. This thing is about maybe 12 inches, 11, 12 inches diameter at this end. And then about halfway, it looks like it's about 9 inches. And then at this end, 7 inches roughly. So if I try to make a 16-foot board out of this, it's going to be limited by this short end, which is about 7 inches, which means that I could probably only get about a 2x4 out of it. So I'd get a 16-foot 2x4. Is that really worth it? Or should I cut it in the middle and then just get some 8-foot stuff out of that end and 8-foot stuff out of this end? I think there's just too much of a difference. I'd have too much waste. So I think that's what I'll do. So. If I cut it right about there, that's 8'5", and that's about 8'6". So if I cut it right here on these sleeves, I end up with a little over 8 feet on both cuts. Probably go a little more in that direction because that end isn't very straight. So let's go ahead and cut that. Okay, so I evened out that end and then cut it here. So what do we have? 9 inches at this end. And 13, 13 and a half. Pith is up 7, so pith is pretty well centered. Okay, well, we got somewhat of a 2x6. Put it out there. So we got a rough 2x6 and we got a 6x6 post, which we need for the sawmill shed, so we'll set that aside. We're just about ready to do the first full-fledged attempt to get this this log here that's about 10 feet long up these ramps and onto our log bunk. So we'll see what we're going to do here. We're going to try to use the tractor to push it up there so it's close to the ramps, and then we'll hook the cable up. So we'll go see how that works. Okay, so we've got this thing hooked up. We got our snatch block. Got the cable running through under the log, over the log, through the snatch block, and then up to the winch. To make sure that the brake is set. Okay. So we'll put a block in there. It's pulling the whole log bunk back. Put that in tight behind that. Okay, so fail. It fails. Because it's pulling the log bunk back because there's nothing keep it moving. Yeah, it's moved back almost an inch. Okay, so the first attempt was a fail. This log bunk started to be pulled out, and as you can see now, it's actually moved out about, I'd say almost 4 inches. It's moved out that way. So what we did is we drove some steel fence posts in here to try and keep it from rolling out. But then we had the main cable to the winch going over the top of the log, which was then putting pressure down on the log, and I think that was a problem because then it started making this part of the bunk lift. So we've rerouted the cable so that the part that goes to the winch goes under the log, and that seems to be working. So let's see much farther we can go here. It's also pulled those ramps up about 5 inches, and that might be just because the bunk has come out. But let's see how it goes. Oh, now, okay, here's our problem now, is that we're at the end of our winch cable. All right, so we've got to go probably another 4 feet. So I guess we're going to have to reset this tractor. I have to let this down. Okay, so we moved the tractor down below, and we got the cable going in across here. So I guess we'll see how it goes. Jonah, watch out for it. It worked. So the ramps, it looks like the ramps held up okay. The log's on the bunk. It's not collapsing. The poles look like they kept it from going out any further. Nope, it didn't go out any further. Okay. So now what we have to do is cut these poles off. Okay, got those cut off. So now a matter of rolling this thing, see if we can roll it. Here's the log, ready to go on the sawmill bed. I hope these 4x6s are strong enough. So I have to get this end in a little bit more. And I think I just use the tractor to lift it in a little more and push, just roll it in with the tractor hopefully. Well, that wasn't easy, but it is on there now. Just got to move it forward a little bit. Let's see if we can clear this thing. Okay, so the other end is between 24 and 28 inches. And this end is 24, 26, and off of this level, sitting here, the pith is 14 and a half, and at the other end, the pith is 15 inches. So I think, this is so big I don't think I want to try and adjust it. So this is 27 to the end of the bark off the level. 27. This is 28, about 28, so about an inch difference bigger at this end than the other end, but I don't think it's worth worrying about. I think we're going to get some nice lumber out of this, except for those big huge knots.